Okay, so this is chapter 2.2, and the title of it is ¿Qué vamos a hacer? What are we going to do? You're going to find that in this chapter there is nothing new. So hopefully we can just review quickly and move on. The first thing that we're going to talk about, I don't know if you looked at your goals sheet at all, but one of the goals for this chapter is to be able to talk about your plans or what you intend to do. So in order to do that, we need to have the verb, we need to know the verb pensar, which means to think. It also means to plan. So it's a stem changer. It's an AR verb. So in the present tense, it's pienso, piensas, piensa. Pensamos, pensáis, and piensan. Those are the forms. Now, when we talk about what we plan to do, like I plan to travel, we use the pienso for I plan and then the infinitive. Pienso viajar. I plan to travel. If I want to use that, if I'm asking if you're planning on doing something like getting ready quickly, then I say piensas arreglarte rápidamente. Piensas arreglarte rápidamente. Do you plan to get ready quickly? So that's how we would do that. I plan, pienso. We plan, pensamos. We plan to study together. Pensamos estudiar juntos. So that's it. Okay, so the next thing that we're talking about then is our daily routine again. And hopefully you'll remember that that was the last thing we learned in Spanish 1. But we're talking about our daily routine using reflexive verbs. Now, if you remember, you will identify a reflexive verb because it has a say at the end of it. And what that say means is that it is an action that we are doing for ourselves or for oneself. So a quick reminder of the reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, os, se. So you're going to take that say at the end of the verb and you are going to make it match whomever is doing the action. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. Now, if I'm doing an action like fixing my hair, I am going to place the reflexive pronoun me before the verb peino. So I fix my hair or I comb my hair, me peino. You get ready, te arreglas. We put on clothing, nos ponemos. And then here you just need to remember that AR verbs get AR endings. ER verbs get ER endings. IR verbs get IR endings. So just remember that as we go through this, the reflexive pronouns are going to be placed before a conjugated verb. Okay, so there are going to be cases where we have, where we can attach the reflexive pronoun, the me, te, se, nos, os, se. And situations where we would do that would be after the phrase para, after the phrase después de, or antes de. Well, after any of those phrases comes an infinitive. So if I have an example like, after showering, I dry off with a towel. Después de ducharme, me seco con toalla. So the duchar is in the infinitive form. However, I need to make the pronoun match whoever is doing the action, which in this case is me, after showering myself. Another situation would be if you have a participle. So maybe you remember that word, and we're going to talk about it in a minute again. But the participle is the Spanish equivalent of ing. It's what's happening right now, so it's the ing. And in Spanish, we say ando or yendo. But again, we're going to get to that in just a second. So if I want to say they are brushing their teeth, it's ellos están cepillándose los dientes. Now, if I attach a pronoun to a participle, like I've done here, I need to count 3 vowels back and add an accent. So if I attach a pronoun, I need to add an accent, 3 vowels back. Okay, another example, we plan to go to bed early. Pensamos acostarnos temprano. Well, who is it that's planning on doing that? We are, so the acostarse has changed to acostar nos to match with who's doing the action. Okay, moving on to numero tres. That is the present progressive. And if you remember from Spanish 1, we use the present progressive when we're talking about what's happening right now. So the verb estar, which means to be, is going to tell us who is doing the action. So I'm doing something, estoy. You're doing something, estás. He is doing something, está. Estamos, we are doing something, estáis, y'all are, and están, they are, or you guys are. Again, the verb estar tells us who's doing the action. We then use the present participle, which is the English equivalent of ing, to tell us what that action is. So what we do, if you recall, is we take off the AR of verbs and we add the ending ando. So that's like the ing. So fixing is arreglando. Talking is hablando. Dancing, bailando. For ER and IR verbs, we take off the ending ER and IR and we add yendo, I-E-N-D-O. So eating is comiendo, running is corriendo, writing, escribiendo, etc. So then we pair these two together. First the verb estar followed by the present participle, and you have an action that's happening right now and you have the person that is doing it. I am eating, estoy comiendo. So estar tells you who is doing it, and then the present participle is the action that is happening. Okay, finally for the present progressive, again, this isn't new, but there are some irregular participles, and it will qualify as an irregular participle if the verb ends in a vowel ER, like leer, or a vowel IR, like oír. And what we do with leer and oír is in that yendo, or the ing part of it, we're going to change the I to a Y. So leer changes to leyendo, oír to oyendo, both with a Y. There are more irregulars, and that is any IR boot verb. Any verb that ends in I and it's a boot verb, like dormir, servir, vestir, pedir, seguir, morir, etc. There's more. Anyway, if it is an IR stem changer, what happens is that O changes to U, or E changes to I. So in dormir, it changes to durmiendo. Vestir, vistiendo with an I. Servir, sirviendo with an I. Now this happens, the present participle never changes. It has nothing to do with the boot. It is sirviendo for all 6 forms. Or it is durmiendo for all 6 forms. Estoy durmiendo and estamos durmiendo. It works for both of them. Okay, again, this is not new, but a lot of little details to pay attention to.